Hey guys, it's Nicholas here, and this is Market Movers, where we cover the news that's moving the markets. Obviously, we all saw the scenes yesterday as Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building and disrupted the counting of the ballots. But all of those crazy events sort of overshadowed something else that's really important that was happening at the exact same time. You see, at the same time as people entering the Capitol building, the election results for the second of the two Senate seats in Georgia was being confirmed. And actually, I think in terms of the markets at least, that's probably the more important news. Not in a general sense, but at least in terms of the markets. So the fate of the Senate had been hanging in the balance since November, as those two seats remained up for grabs in Georgia, and a Democratic victory there would make a massive difference for Joe Biden's presidency, and of course for the markets as well. So none of the candidates achieved over 50% of the votes back in November, so it all came down to this runoff, and to the surprise of many people, both Democratic candidates managed to flip the seats blue and to win the election. So why did this single runoff for two senators matter so much, and why does it matter for the markets? Well, since Republicans hold 50 of the seats and Democrats held 48, the two seats that are flipped in Georgia means that the Senate is now a 50-50 split. But even with an equal split like that, it's good news for Democrats because the Vice President gets to have the deciding vote, which means that incoming Vice President Kamala Harris is going to give them the edge. By winning Congress, this now gives the Democrats control of the White House, the House of Representatives, and Congress. And having control of all three of these will make it so much easier to do things like pass legislation or approve nominees to cabinet and so on. Now, one of the main focuses in the US markets recently has been on the fiscal stimulus. And last year, we obviously saw this huge roadblock, which was that the Republicans and the Democrats just weren't able to come to an agreement for a large-scale package. So this new situation now removes that roadblock, and Biden is going to be much more able to deliver on his agenda, which is expected to lead to bigger spending on pandemic relief and infrastructure projects. Now, increases in spending, like what we can expect is going to happen without an increase in taxes, will typically push up Treasury yields, as there's an expectation that there's going to be a lot more government borrowing to fund it, which therefore means that there'll be a bigger supply of bonds in the market. So with that in mind, in anticipation of the election results actually coming out, we already saw 10-year Treasury yields hitting 1% for the first time since March. Now, among other things, long-term yields help to set the interest rates. So for the past 9 months, there have been ultra low yields, which have helped to reduce borrowing costs, which has led to investors being able to buy riskier assets like stocks and corporate debt and so on. So this may have an impact on other markets as well, such as stocks. But right now, it seems that the expectation of more fiscal stimulus is being seen as a positive thing and something that will speed up economic growth. So stocks have been bullish, and this is a good sign. Now, obviously, if there is economic growth, this can also lead to inflation, but that's something probably to consider over the longer term. And also, the Federal Reserve has already said that they're willing to let inflation surpass the 2% target for a while. So things are likely to stay quite accommodative for a while. Although the New York Fed has already suggested that inflation may come back much more quickly than the consensus suggests. And the US 10-year break-even inflation rate rose to the highest level since 2018. So inflation expectations are rising. But what do you think? What do you make of the news of the Georgia elections and the events at the Capitol building yesterday? Let me know in the comment section down below, and please do hit that like button as well. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.